What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be giving you 7 tips to master the light class in the finals. I'm going to start with more simple tips such as loadout and other things, and then we're going to work our way down the list into more advanced tips such as the macro and how to play around your team in ranked. If this video helps you out, make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you're new. Stay posted for more finals content in the future. Before we get into the tips, I want to give you a quick overview of the light class itself. The light class has the least amount of health in the game at only 150, making you very susceptible to being one-shot by many of the weapons and gadgets in the game. In a game where TTK is so high, avoiding these situations is very crucial for your success. As a light player, you should always be taking your gunfights with advantages. And with these 10 tips, I'll be teaching you how to gain these advantages and avoid bad situations. To start with tip number 1, we're going to be looking at loadouts. The best loadout for the light is as follows. For weapons, we have the XP54 and the V95, although the shotgun and DMR, or the LH1 as it's called in the game, are also great options if you want to switch it up. For abilities, you have 2 great options between Cloak and Dash. When playing in a party, I prefer to use Cloak as it gives me great scouting ability, flagging potential, and helps you sneak out of bad situations. The Dash is great for mobility, moving the vault, and outplaying your opponents in 1v1. When using the Dash, I prefer to use the V95 or the pistol, as the reload speed is a lot faster, and with some practice, you can time your dashes and reloads together so you can stay in the fight for longer. For gadgets, my go-to in every game are the stun gun, glitch grenade, and the frags. The stun gun is great for opening up fights with an easy pick, or cancelling an opponent's animations such as a cash out or when a medium is defibbing. Glitch grenades are great counters for heavies and mediums as they disable all gadgets and shields for a short time, making it very useful to throw out at cash out zones when you want to go for a steal. And finally, frags. Not much to say about these other than they're really good right now. Make sure you're chucking these bad boys every life, as you'll be surprised at how many kills you'll actually get. Remember, gadgets recharge over time. Make sure you're paying attention to your cooldowns and always using your gadgets. Tip number 2 is going to be maximizing ability use. Like I mentioned in the intro, having an advantage in the gunfight is super important in this game, and the light's abilities give you a ton of outplay potential. When using Cloak, you can easily sneak right by an unsuspecting enemy and get right behind their whole team for an easy pick. Using Cloak as a scouting ability is also one of its best uses. When defending a cash out, you can simply sit on a roof while cloaked and wait for a team to walk up before you get behind them and wipe them all out. Some tips for Dash are to always be using it in a one-on-one gunfight, as it will be very hard to track. You can also use Dash in an upwards direction to reach a ledge or a hard to reach spot. The Dash is also great for taking the cash from the vault to the cash out with great speed, as you can dash after taking a jump pad to travel a very large distance super quick. Tip number 3 is going to be abusing the stun gun and glitch grenades. Right now, these are the best 2 gadgets the light has by far. The stun gun gives you a free kill 90% of the time and can come up huge when defending a late steal attempt or cancelling a revive. Glitch grenades are also extremely powerful right now, as they disable all traps, mines, turrets, shields, and abilities for 10 seconds. Giving you a ton of potential, whether it's disabling mines by a cash out, or stopping a medium from healing his heavy, to stopping a heavy become a Gibby Reinhardt thing with an RPG and an automatic shotgun. Anyway, you see my point. Make sure you're always using these gadgets and learn how to use them as efficiently as possible. Tip number 4 is using buildings to your advantage. When low health and getting chased, you can easily escape when running in and out of a building and going from window to window. Doing this leaves your opponent lost and often frustrated, leading them to just leave you alone and moving on to the next best thing. Tip number 5 is going to be about positioning. With such a small health pool, getting caught out of position as a light will get you killed very quickly, making positioning a very important tip, if not the most important tip, to playing light. Like I mentioned in previous tips, make sure you're always using your abilities to get behind or next to opponents. As a light, you should try to limit the fights you take straight up and look for off angles to one-clip enemies in the back. Another important tip with positioning is to play in space. The light's abilities work best when you have angles and routes to take to get behind your opponents. When defending a cash out, I prefer to play one floor above if I have angles to the cash out. This way, I have free reign over the enemies trying to steal. If you can't see the cash out from the floor above, I prefer playing at the entry point of the building. This way I can quickly use Cloak to get behind the enemy for a free kill. Final positioning tip I have for you is probably not what you'd expect, and that's to not play on top of your team. Every other class should disregard this tip, as playing on top of your teammate can drastically improve your chance of success, but with the lights, it's a bit of the opposite. When on top of your teammates, you're easily killable with your small health pool and easy to spot. As a light, you are a fragger. Go get frags. Like I mentioned before, playing in space is very important for a light. Get around your enemies and get a pick, then have your team come in for an easy 2v3. Tip number 6 is going to cover fighting as a light. By now you should know that flanking is the light's best bet for consistent kills. As a light, you should be the first or second person to engage in a team fight. Communicate with your team when you're behind the enemy and sandwich them for a free wipe. Focusing a light or a medium first, with medium being your priority because their support capability is your best bet as they're the easiest to take out with one clip. Then clean up the heavy as they're an easy kill with some focus fire and good aim. If ever face to face with the heavy, aim for the head as you can easily one clip them with some headshots. But in general, stay away from these guys as many of their weapons and gadgets will one-shot you in close range. To end this video, I just want to give one last tip, and that's to just get in the mix. The light class has by far the most outplay potential out of any class, and in my opinion, the most fun class in the game. Making crazy plays and clutches is a constant with the light, as you have so much to work with as far as guns, gadgets, and abilities. Use the maps to your advantages and figure out all the intricacies of each map to fully maximize the light's potential. Using these tips will help you master the light class in no time. If this video helped you out, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more finals content to come. Peace.